We did that. So that's the thing to do. Are you taking the trailer tomorrow, or are you taking the truck tomorrow? Just without, I mean,
What do you think?
wait, do they have the new hay you wanted to get?
I'm gonna call them first thing in the morning. Well, you know, we haven't cleaned out the tent yet, so maybe I'll just take the truck and we'll get a few more bales like we did last time. Put them up at the front.
Okay. Hi, Bennett.
How are you this evening?
Good.
Okay.
Which I'm doing through Zoom. I think it's doing it. Okay, so this is a special meeting of the Point Roberts Community Advisory Committee with the sole agenda item of reviewing the building permit application of the Water Department for a new building at 2002 Benson Road. And I'm going to see if I can bring up the documents to share them while still maintaining some ability to notice new people who want to get into the call. I'm afraid I'm a little concerned I won't see them if I do this, but
so is it, maybe while you're doing that, I could lead everybody just a bit and say, okay, so the process is that either before or after we have public comments, but we go through the document and officially decide as the members, committee members, how it either complies or doesn't comply to the so-called character plan design review checklist. And so that's our goal. And whether it complies completely or not, we send it off with some minutes that Steve does over to Nick Smith at the county. And then there may be, we might have to meet again, or they may handle everything by email, or the county might just handle everything with the water district, and the committee doesn't even need to talk about it again until we hear what happened. Okay.
that's true. I just would say that I guess I will be, I'm not going to be taking minutes while we're doing this call. I can try to write something up afterwards. And at the next meeting, on the next regular meeting, hopefully we'll actually pick our officers for this year.
Yeah.
Hope I'm not getting you guys dizzy. I want to look and I think this is probably not the right document not the most useful document to be sharing. I think the building is probably more relevant than the.
Well, we could go in order of the checklist if you want. So if you bring up the other document, which shows parking and landscaping and all that kind of stuff, you could do that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, here I need to do.
Hey, can I ask a more basic question?
Sure.
So this is at the corner of Tyee and Benson, correct?
No.
No, this is right next to the clinic, right next to the fire hall and the clinic.
Okay, so it's on Benson. Got it. Okay, now I know where you're at.
And I'm just trying
You'll notice that they've been clearing the brush out of that parcel that's right next to the fire department's parking lot.
Yeah, I thought I saw in one of the email threads that this was something to do with the corner of Benson and Tyee.
It's odd. I'm having trouble sharing the document I want to share. Every time I select the one I want to share, I get the landscaping document instead of the one that I actually want. Maybe, oh, here we go. Oh, there it is. Do you guys see this document now with the building design?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's one I've had all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, I was seeing something different. Right. Okay,
you
so
go to the other PDF.
what's that?
Go to the other PDF that shows landscaping and parking, because we could just go by the design review checklist order.
Okay, you want it? Are you okay? Okay, I'll do that.
Well, that's
I'll
one
go
way
back.
to do it orderly, or we could just have a discussion.
No, that's fine. I'll go back to the other one. I just had it here, but maybe I closed it. Okay.
Well,
Sorry.
actually, let me clarify. Steve, you were on
Yeah.
the correct document, because the very first line is site plan and elevations. I think that's on the building document, not on the other document, but I could be wrong about that.
Really? No, I think this one, I think I do want the other one. Sorry. Let me just, let me find it. Sorry, guys. Okay.
Bennett, what is behind you? Looks like you're in outer space. Or we can't hear you.
Who's that?
Bennett.
We can't hear Bennett.
Ah,
Okay. Are you guys seeing the one now that's,
Yeah.
yes.
okay. So yeah, here we go. So here's the,
This would be called the site plan. And okay, right. Okay, so the first element is called site plan and elevations.
Yep.
And basically, the only check I think that we need to make is, does it exist? Because if the elevations were really wrong, which is hard for us to judge, it's basically a flat lot, and the site plan exists and it shows elevations, if that's what the dashed lines are, I think they meet that.
you know, they've got it. So we can say, yes, they have it.
Okay.
What's next?
Okay, so compliance. Okay, parking. And I don't have the parking rules in front of me, but they do show parking here.
That's
And,
that's back on the other, isn't that back on the other drawing?
No, go, keep going, keep going,
Down.
keep going, keep going.
Oh yeah, here we go.
There it is. And it shows two sections of parking, and maybe Dan can talk to this for a second. They're showing the proposed asphalt, but then they're showing gravel parking. What's the difference between proposed and gravel parking?
That-
as far as-
We were gonna do a separate office in the, see where it says future office there?
Yeah,
And the bid was just too high. We couldn't afford it.
okay.
So now we're just doing the shop, and we're using 1,200 feet out of that shop for the office. So that's basically gonna be the parking there. Where, I don't know why it says proposed, but
And where's the actual door entrance? It's between those little H's. That's what they're showing there.
yeah.
How about the big doors? You got big
Those are
doors.
those are the bay doors for the,
Bay
The
door.
office,
Mm-hmm.
I'd
the
say it's-
office door's right there where you're at.
Okay. Now the county wants so many parking spots per user of the building. That doesn't really seem to be on here, and I don't remember exactly what that is. It's not really in the character plan. You just have to have parking spots as far as the character plan is concerned, aka design guidelines.
yeah, Pete, the county, Steve, the county will definitely take care of that with them. They'll make sure they have the right number.
Yeah. So I guess we could say that we think it's in compliance. They will definitely, like Steve just said, push back if it's not. So we don't have to worry about that.
I think we're good there.
Okay, so I'll write compliant.
Okay.
Okay, now lighting. And Dan can help us with this, and we probably have to go to the one with the building in it. Oh, unless it's
there is some landscaping down here. Where was
oh, is
it?
the lighting down there?
I'm not sure there was light. There's planting. I'm not sure there's any lighting.
Yeah, there's lots of plants. So Dan, was there any mention of lighting anywhere on the outside of the, it's all outside?
Just on the building, it should be,
Let me change over to the, I can change to the building then
yeah,
with
They-
only minor difficulty of figuring out how to do that. Let's see.
okay.
There we go. This should
It's
be
just on the exterior of the building.
where to go.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Maybe it's already here. Can you guys see the building now?
Yeah. So Dan, do you think it's on? Does it show specifics about the lighting anywhere on here?
Go down.
I'm sorry. Okay, a little bit farther down.
No, the other way. Sorry. See those? Whoops, too far.
Which one? You want this one?
Right there.
Yeah, stop.
I got it.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's not showing it. They're basically, there's one above the door and one between the overhead doors. There's no light stanchions really outside or anything.
Are they shining downward?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I think we have to do non-compliance just because you're supposed to have a plan for that. It's not a big deal. They can
It's-
send that to us or the county can
It's-
advise you.
It's there. I just don't
Okay.
know.
Let's see, maybe we'll find it on some other elevation. I don't want to get you guys dizzy as I move around these.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's fun.
I mean, everyone
Is it
signed
in the
off.
floor layout? No.
So since this is a PDF, can you search for the word light, L-I-G-H-T, and see if it's in the document?
Very good.
I did
try.
that. I don't know. Did it find anything? I don't know that it.
I think it's an image. It's not it's an image file, not a text.
No results.
Yeah.
Oh, it says PDF at the top. That's why I thought.
No
it was
results file. No results found.
What are
Okay.
those little triangle things?
Yeah, it's right here. Refer to door
That's the
schedule.
door schedule. It's
Oh,
just
okay,
it's
that's
the
not that.
specifications on the doors, but that's kind of where the lights are going, only
That's what it said, yeah.
between them.
Right.
I don't-
I would say, Steve, that we could make some note that description was satisfactory, but not seen on the plans or something like that.
It's yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you, I'll say compliance, if night sky spec. Now that's tricky because we don't have a legal definition of night sky here in Whatcom County, but they'll know what it means. And I can write a full sentence out on that, but just, I can say it's compliance. You've got a few lights. Basically, personally, I don't really care, unlike the character plan, if they look Victorian or anything. But what I really don't want is the lights to beam straight into the street, for example, from the building, so that it blinds people when they're driving by. It's really got to be
No,
straight.
they're shooting down, like
Yeah.
they're
Okay.
illuminating the walls, so to speak. And again, I don't know where that is, but everyone signed off on this except the fire marshal. That's the last guy we're waiting for. So,
Well, that'd be ironic if the fire district couldn't get the fire marshal to sign off.
well, we put in a hydrant to comply with his wishes. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what the hang up is. So
I hope it's not as close to the building as the old fire hydrant next to the old Julius Fire Hall.
no,
Are you gonna store fuel anywhere inside the building?
no.
All right. Well, that's a big one. If you're not gonna do that, that's most of the battle.
Okay, what's next on the
Yeah,
list?
okay. So, like I said, we don't. There are people working on night sky initiatives here for Whatcom County, but they don't exist. And basically, it's lights that point straight down and not in your eyes. That's it. If they don't look like they're made for a steel refinery, but look like they're made for a barn, whatever that means, it's very loose. Even though the design guidelines give a bunch of examples, I personally am okay with it. So I think that we can say they comply, even though we haven't seen a drawing. And basically, we're just saying we want them pointing down. So that's all we're saying. So it's got to go through them again after they see all this.
So what's next, Steve?
Okay, next is landscaping. That is the other doc.
Yep. Okay. Landscaping, which one? That's this one again. Yeah. Okay.
Is there actually a second story internal to this, Dan? While you're no. There's a mezzanine, maybe. It's pretty
Yeah.
tall building. Okay,
Yeah,
mezzanine.
for archives and just yeah.
Can
Okay,
you guys see the landscaping one now?
I can see it.
Yep,
Okay,
I got it.
Up here, notice everyone. It says cluster Oregon grape and
So all in
Salal
red
red
color.
currant. Okay, and then it says future junipers, and then down below future rhododendron, but that's not happening. Here's something to be explained is ahead of the road, it's got these dark dashed lines, and it says existing right of way, and it looks like you're planting a bunch of street tree planting area. So I'm a little confused what all that means. The trees are in the. Go ahead.
The county takes another 15 feet of right of way
Oh, okay.
off your conditional use permit. So
Okay.
because of how that bioswale sits, we have to put the landscaping. there's already a 60-foot right of way, but they take another, I think it's 15 feet. It's either 10 or 15, but I'm pretty sure it's 15.
Looks like 10, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. And then that's where those bushes or trees, I can't
Yeah.
see the spec on that.
Yeah, existing right away. It says somewhere on there. Oh yeah, Magnolia,
Magnolia, yeah. I don't,
Grandiflora Victoria. Sounds fantastic. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds great.
Right. Nope.
yeah, we were interested in more native
Yeah,
to the area plants, so.
and that's encouraged in the design guidelines, native and water saving plants.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so I'm going to put compliance.
Yep, sounds
Fine.
good.
Okay, now building mass, height, and roof design. Okay, so they kind of lump three things in there. I would say first off, the building mass is fine. It's a 1.5 story or whatever, however they specify it, and therefore the height's okay because it's not a 3-story. The maximum height in this area is 25 feet.
And that's what it is. It's just under 25 feet.
24 or something. I
Yeah,
forget
okay.
exactly.
So I'm going to show check building mass, check height, meaning okay, comply. The roof design, okay. Now we're not entirely convinced what the design guidelines say, but it maybe we're having a difference of opinion. But it appears that the design guidelines say that for a sloped roof, or what they call it, slanted roof.
A pitched roof.
Pitched, thank you. Pitched roof. I don't have it in front of me unless I move my screen all around. I could read the exact thing. Oh, no, I can't. Oh, the Zoom took over my desktop. I can't make it smaller. That's rude. Wonder how you do
Well, yeah,
that.
I can show you guys the language you're about to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead and bring it up. Just because this is one little. It's not a bugaboo, but it is something we got to talk about because if
But I think
it goes
they're-
one way, it'll
I
affect your
think they're
budget.
I think they're in compliance. Why can't I find that one? Just,
I think the height of your building is off there to the right too. If you look
yeah,
to
it's
the right
20
edge of this
just a few-
drawing, I think
just a
it
few
shows the
inches.
height.
It's just a few inches under the maximum.
Yeah, but you see the lines at the top of the north elevation drawing. It goes off to the right, and I think on the right-hand side, it's going to show the height. You just might have to drag the thing over a little bit, you know.
Oh, there.
Can I find this document? It's right here on my screen. Why can't I see it in the?
Says 16 feet, and then there's another.
There's a 16 and a 15, and then there's another line that shows a call out there that I bet if we could move literally like
Yeah, can you
50
move
or
the,
20 pixels to the right, we'd see the height.
yeah, can you move the whole dock a little
You
over?
want to look at this thing?
Yeah, just a little over. I guess more to the left. My left, anyway.
Yeah, if you
Left.
move it to the, if you're able to move it to the left or scroll to the,
Oh,
there
there
you go, bingo.
Yeah, it's right. It's
24
right
and
yeah.
10
Okay.
16ths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
24 10 7 16ths. There you go. So we don't have to put anything except compliant on the height there.
That's right. I'm just making notes too, because I usually add a little descriptor on things. But
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
24 feet. Oh, wow. Okay.
Let me try.
Oh, yeah.
again.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Document went away and now all your mugs are in there. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah,
There we go.
I've lost.
Okay. Now, guys, all right, and lady. Okay. So the one thing is this is not a flat roof, but it does say.
Can you see the design guidelines now?
You guys see all this?
Yes, we're
Yes.
seeing the design guidelines PDF page 5 of 11.
Okay. Good. It says that if you do a flat roofing, which we're not, shall incorporate overhangs with eaves, brackets, and cornices. Well, we're not. What we are doing is vaguely like these pictures over here.
Pitched
B,
roof.
pitched roofs shall be a gable, shed, or hip design. Now,
Well, I think it's a hip design, isn't it?
No.
no,
Gable.
Oh, it's a
It's just a
gable?
gable.
Gable.
if it's a gable, the way I read this is you have to have an eave.
I don't think so.
But Steve thinks that no, that's not how what it really says. So
It can't say that, Steve, because we're looking at the language and it doesn't say that.
yeah, no, but no, the way they're yeah, but it's a gable. All gables have eaves, all, and the pictures show an eave. So right, this is a point of something we've never had to actually handle before, so it's all fresh to all of us.
Okay, let's go back to the drawings of the building. which
Well, hang on. It gives you 3 options here. It's either a gable, a shed, or a hip design. And so we're focusing in on gable. I don't know the difference in gable and shed, but we might have a shed design.
Yeah, it might
That's
be.
the case, and the gable might not be required.
No, what they mean by a shed
Is
is a roof that only has one side. Like if
Right,
it
like-
goes against another
Yeah.
building.
like that.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. That's a shed.
Yeah.
What the water district designed so far, I guess, is a gable. It's a pitch. I call it a pent roof.
It's a pitch straight gable, like
Yeah, okay.
412 pitch
Let's go back to the,
or 512 maybe.
let me go find the drawing again. I've lost that page. I gotta go find it again.
What drawing are you looking for? Oh, the other one. Yeah, okay.
The actual.
Well, it's straight
So-
down. There's no. There may be gutters.
Yeah,
But-
there are.
Okay, but yeah, it just goes straight down after the gutters. I know one time I had to relieve myself under the eaves of a very similar building, and that didn't work. I got wet as hell because there's no eaves. But that's my personal problem. Okay,
So
there you go.
Do we have enough? Do we have enough illustration to actually see what we've got? Yeah, it looks like we
Yeah,
got.
there. Stop.
Right there, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So
This is
I-
a typical pole building.
Yeah. So Dan, regardless of what the code says, and we have some interpretations here, the code does not say you must have eaves unless it's a flat roof, but it does say that you're a gable. So Dan, I'm thinking what your guy, Mr. Faber said, is it really comes down to on any of these things, if there's any changes that require a budget change. Now, maybe it all can be done within the same budget, or maybe it can't, but now's the time to decide that. So if somehow we decide, oh, it needs eaves, and that's a tremendous change in cost, the water district has to look at that. And everyone here on this panel is certainly very sensitive to that because it's our water and our tax money too. So we're very sensitive to all that. And the difference in what it looks like, and as far as the design guidelines and the character of Point Roberts, I think is huge. Now, I have a picture. If you want, I could share my screen for 1 second and show the picture just so we're super clear as to at least what's in my head. Steve and I looked at it briefly. It's just an example. So what do I do to go to my screen?
Oh, yeah, I think in order to do that, I have to, let me stop sharing.
Oh, yeah. You've got to request it, and then Steven's got to give it to you.
Yeah, I can do that right here. All participants can share. Okay, you can share now if you want, Steve, I think.
So
Okay.
for just to be clear, so I understand, because I'm not super familiar with all the terminology. An eave, does that have a defined size?
No,
It should
So
just
they
be
could
an
put a
open-
2-inch eave, and that would be
I
accepted.
think they're 8 inches or something. I can't remember off the top of my head any longer.
Well, the county may have something to do with state snow loads. And the engineers might have to get involved. If you wanted a 6-foot eave all of a sudden, you'd have to have it re-engineered, and that's probably not in the budget because it's as kind of an off-the-shelf design. Yeah, I'm sure.
That's kind of why I was bringing it up. I was thinking if it's if it's only a very minimal thing, 2, 4, 6 inches, something like that, maybe there wouldn't be much from a budget perspective to.
Yeah, there is. It's quite a bit.
But I think there's no requirement for it, so it's really,
Okay, so here's something they call. Tell me when you can see my screen in this picture.
Got it.
yeah, we
Yeah.
got it.
We've got it.
They call it a new word for me, barndominium.
Condominium.
Yeah, barndominium. But anyway, they show, and this is one company, I don't even know where they are. They build a kit similar to what the Fabers are going to do. And they show eaves. And you can see these eaves don't look tremendously big. I have no idea how much it adds for cost because you're talking more steel, more screwing around, maybe more painting, who knows. But there's more. And so I don't think that we here can dictate at all that you must have eaves. At least it doesn't seem like that. We'd have to get a lawyer involved or somebody to look at this code to make sure we're on top of it. But if you wanted to have them at least ask their manufacturing group, what would it take to add eaves because it would fit into the character plan better, that would be great. And so we could say complies, but that kind of thing. At least that's my
I don't really agree, Steve. I think it might look nice if it had eaves, but I don't think it's actually required unless the definition of hip, gable, or whatever the other choice was,
Shed.
unless those terms by definition include them, but it doesn't seem 100% clear to me that they do.
Right. Does anyone know? Rick, you sounded like you thought gable did mean that it has eaves.
Well, it said if we were back there, the language I just read that we were really focusing in on gable, and I don't think this looks like what I would consider a gable design. It looks like a shed design to me. But then somebody else said, no, the shed design's a single slanting roof. So maybe it is just a regular center pitch roof. But where my mind is a little bit puzzled, if you will, is I don't think I thoroughly understand when we say eave. Does that mean just overhang at the end of the roof at the bottom of the pitch? Or does that mean that it has to have eaves on every wall?
Well,
Well,
that's a
in the
good question.
design aspect too, if it's just for design and not for any kind of snow load or anything like that, then why couldn't they just do the front? Or little awnings on the front or something to make it comply with the character plan more.
Well, and we need to make sure that the character plan actually states exactly that, because if we're gonna require anything that costs even a penny more, then we better have something documented that says that we should be able to impose that as a miss on their design. Otherwise, I don't know that we really have anything other than an opinion, and I don't think
Cannery
an opinion
style
would
structure.
really cause them to have to spend more money.
Well, the closest thing I see to an opinion is the pictures, the examples they give. That's it.
Right,
And they'll have eaves.
exactly.
Yeah, but those are examples. I mean, if you look at the language, when it talks about flat roofs, it requires eaves.
But that's not
But
what
when it's talking about the pitch roofs, it doesn't mention that language, which is why it comes down to the question of whether gable, shed, and hip designs automatically have eaves or not. If they don't automatically have them, then it's a non-issue, and it would be just a question of preference. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think at most you could just ask the county to the most we could do would be to say it seems to comply unless a gable, shed, or hip design roof is defined to include an eave, in which case the eave is missing in this design. And I wouldn't say any more than that, because we have no basis for saying it's
No,
non-conforming.
it doesn't really say it.
Yeah, that's what I think we're both saying the same thing. We're just using different language, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Rich.
Okay, then I'll write up exactly what Steve just said, is that those words, that unless PDS feels that this is a gable, shed, or hip design, then an eave is not required. But if you feel like it is one of those, it should have eaves.
No, that's not exactly what we said there, Steve.
We'll say it again then.
I can't
Because
find any place in here where we require eaves. That's what
Even
I'm
if it
struggling
is a gable, shed, or hip design,
Yeah.
it's only an issue if those terminologies describe a roof that always has to have an eave. If that's the case, then this doesn't have it, and that would be an issue. But
Yeah,
if
I agree.
if it's one of those three types and those types don't have to have an eave, then this is fine.
Well, that's what I was saying it in shorthand, but you said
No,
it
but it's
clearly.
not shorthand. It's entirely different meaning.
That,
But go ahead and write it up what you want, and I'll be happy to edit it if I don't think it hits what I think we're saying.
Well, again, I'll ask about gable, shed, and if a gable, shed, or hip always has eaves, or do they always have eaves? The county can make some kind of ruling about that.
Yeah, they can.
Yes, and we also have to be careful here. In this design document, we have to be able to point to language that says these things require eaves, and I'm not seeing it on this page, but there's nothing here that says, I don't see the word eave anywhere.
That's my point, Rick. It's not there unless those terms by definition include them.
Right.
But I'm,
It's not
yeah,
stated.
oh,
separately.
okay, I see what you're saying. I got
Oh,
you
that's
now.
clear. Steve's clear. It's very clear.
Okay.
It's clear. It's clear as mud, as my mom would say, right?
I have one, not an approval question, but a question for Dan. How does the water get from the roof to the ground? Is it just pouring off, or is there?
Oh, there's gutters.
Okay.
You have to. Again, this has all been signed off by everybody down there, so.
Right. Okay. Got it.
But that's not, by the way, that's why they send it to us, because they aren't them. Or we aren't them. They aren't us. That's why they send it to us.
You
Unfortunately.
know, it's easy for you to, throw these ideas around, but they're $20,000 to $40,000, and we just don't. If you're going to kill this, then I don't know what I'm going to do, because already we're at the end of the rope here. We've bid this out 3 times.
Yeah.
It's way over. We don't even want to spend this, but at this
Man, I got
point,
that lecture from Mr. Faber already.
it's not going to get
We're
any
very
cheaper.
sensitive about it. Yeah.
So
Well, and I'll tell you from my perspective, there is no desire whatsoever to kill this. What I'm trying to do is look at this and just go, okay, how do we make sure that we're aligning to something so we're actually doing our jobs?
Yeah.
Right.
That's all I'm looking at. Because I don't have any emotional attachment to it at all.
yeah, I understand that, but I mean, I've been doing this for like 5 years now, and it's
Oh, geez.
Yeah, this should be
a little
simple. And it
frustrating.
seems like I'm not seeing the part where there's any lack of compliance. That's why I'm puzzled.
yeah, that's what I mean. I just don't.
It doesn't appear to have any lack of compliance so far. That's right.
Okay, I just
Perfect.
And just as so people understand, I think Steve maybe understands this, is I tried to rewrite these rules, or us, the committee, and one of our former, our former chairperson said, no, let's just leave it alone. So it was too much of a hot potato. And I personally wanted to clarify and make it better and put on our builder hat and our environmental hat and our aesthetics hat and do a better job, but it was just easier, I guess, for the committee just to say, let's leave it alone. And so a future
Okay,
committee.
we don't need to get into that. Let's get back on the point. Anything left on our
materials.
list?
What? Next is materials.
Okay.
So you want to put up your, I can't see
Yeah.
your document anymore.
Yeah, I'm
Steve.
looking for the one we want. We don't want.
Well, just
We
look for
don't-
the design guidelines. Bring that back up.
Yeah, no, I don't know why I keep losing it on my. Hold on, Liz. How come I've lost my document? Sorry, guys, 1 second. Well, I figure, okay, I see it on my screen. Now let me see if I can share it. Okay, what happened to sharing? This one.
Bingo. We got it.
No, but no, now pull up the design guideline doc. And just think, we're only a third of the way through. Yay, almost done.
Well, we'll keep the conversation to a minimum from here on out. Here we go. Okay, you want to see that?
Okay.
My
yeah.
wife's been asking for that for almost 30 years.
Okay, scroll down. Let's see. Plans. I forget where the materials are. They have a whole thing on it. Let's see.
I just saw.
Keep going.
saw it.
Keep
Oh, it's-
going. Roof design. Where there are roof materials. Well, we can start with roof materials because they, for some reason, the list. Okay. Yeah. No. What did we do? We went way past, didn't we? Windows. Yeah. Materials. Go back up to roof materials. We'll start there, and then we'll come back to this one. There we go. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah. Flat. So flat roof. No, it's not that. Variety of different is used on pitched roofs, and sheet metal are acceptable. Okay. So
Yep.
that's what we got. I'm going to write down sheet metal. Check complies. Okay. Next is the rest of it. Now, and I had a great conversation with Mr. Faber on this. Is that on materials, durable quality and all that, use modern materials. Yeah, we are in compliance with materials, actually all materials, or the other materials, all right, OM, other materials. Okay. Because the question was exterior, the further down we get into basically the siding. See, it's tricky. Where do you put siding in here? We got materials, windows, doors, vents, awnings, exterior finish and detail. So I guess it's maybe under exterior finish and detail. But
Should
we
be.
had a good conversation with Mr. Faber. So we'll go to windows next. So materials are in compliance. Okay, windows. Basically, I don't see anything here that says that they can't do what they did, which is window look-alike white plastic, you know, PVC. That's like my windows at home. That's what they are. And I really didn't find anything in the design guidelines here that say that that can't be done. And they're kind of either double hung sash windows, like it mentions right there, or something else. And maybe either functional or non-functional. It's pretty loose. Conventional or square. So it appears that windows, and they can be painted, the outside trim can be painted to deal with the colors. So I think we're okay for windows.
I think so.
Okay, check. Doors.
Where was doors? I saw doors already somewhere. Must be the other way. Doors. I think there's nothing much to go on there.
Yeah, basically they're steel doors. I don't know if they're steel frame, but they're a traditional form and finish, you know.
I think we're fine.
And security says in selection of material, so I think doors comply.
Sounds bueno to me.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, okay. There are, I don't know about vents, but I really don't know. Usage, yeah, okay, are encouraged, but encouraged, you'll notice in here, there's two words, encouraged, or there's a couple other words, and it's shall. Shall is where we have to follow because it's the law. Encouraged means it's just encouraged. So if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. So I didn't really see any vents on external vents. There probably is vents because you have to for any steel or any building. So I would say they comply, and there are no porches or awnings.
Yep.
Okay, so comply. Okay, exterior finish and detail. Now, one thing I immediately noticed was, well, it's a steel building. And if you look at the, and where on here, I don't know, Stephen, but in here it describes the, is that it right there? Oh, no, the canopies, awnings, no. The siding, wherever the siding went on this, unfortunately, whoa, well, that's interesting. My screen just went all wonky. Still there?
You wanted to see the building?
Yeah, that's one of those little effects you get when you minimize something. So it's just on its way down.
No, I wanted to see part of the design guidelines where they talk about the type of siding that can be used. And now I can't remember exactly where it is in here. I apologize. I don't remember exactly.
Exterior finish.
Okay, exterior, maybe in here, exterior finish. Yeah, this has got to be it. And a clapboard, here we go, here. Second paragraph. Most traditional siding was clapboard. Clapboard consists of either laid horizontally, painted or stained, or vertically. Now, the maximum exposed width is 6 inches per board. I do not know. I think that's probably not correct for the design we're looking at, but the use of clapboard is strongly encouraged. Is okay, but then now another is board and batten. That's what we have. And Mr. Faber hit the nail on the head. They're using hardy boards and strips of battens of cedar. And they can both be painted. And that's for the first 10 feet, mainly the first floor, we'll call it, before the pit roof starts. So I think they're in compliance for that. And the rest will be steel. And it'll be the steel finish, which could be painted multiple colors. It will come in a color from the factory, but it also could be painted possibly. So that's up to the aesthetic
sounds fine.
crowd.
What's next?
Well, exterior finish and detail, check. Okay, color. Had a good conversation with Mr. Faber. I said that I will get the list, the palette list. He has no problem. It was not a, Dan, it's not a budgetary issue at all. according to him. We'll get the color palette to the water district, and I've got to get that from Judson, just so everybody knows. I think Judson says he thinks he has it, and that's the exact color set. Again, something we wanted to change and we didn't. So I don't think color is a problem. I don't know if we want to say compliance or non-compliance, because as long as they follow the plan, which at least verbally is that we will follow whatever colors you and the water district have. But us, the committee here, we're not dictating colors. It's up to the aesthetics of the water board as to what they want to do, and Mr. Faber, what he wants to do.
What do you know, Dan? What color we're aiming for?
Gosh, I've forgotten
They
now.
said gray with white roof.
But that's not the board and batten
No, it
part.
was like a greeny, sort of a light green, I thought.
Mm.
I've just forgotten now.
Okay, I'm going to say complies, but must use the color palette. And like I said, Mr. Faber didn't think that there was a budget issue there at all. 0. Okay.
Yeah, because they're going to have to paint it something, and when they paint it, they can mix whatever custom color they want. That's simple.
Yeah, and really the color palette is basically earthy tones. You know, it's got a heck of a lot of variety.
Yeah, that's what we were
That's
going
fine.
for.
I think we can move on.
Yeah, hardware, that's mainly on doors and stuff. And okay, there it is. Okay, I'm sure we're not using wrought iron or polished, but notice where it says wherever possible is encouraged. Okay, so they're legal lingo. Okay, I'm very sensitive to all that, so therefore they don't have to do it. They can put whatever they want on it. Really, if they in their heart of hearts somebody comes up with some beautiful wrought iron or polished brass that fits on there, great.
Then
But we don't have to require it.
Let's move on.
Okay, so I'm going to require other features. I have no idea what that means. And sign location is not applicable.
Oh.
We're done.
Okay. Well, there probably will be a sign of some kind. Wouldn't there be, Dan, somewhere?
Yeah, and they were real specific on where it had to go, and I just can't remember the whole. I think it's just on the building there.
Well,
Okay.
they know what it on the building. Well, the main thing is not more than 12 feet tall. That's it. And the main thing is exterior lighting to the sign.
Yeah, it was on the building somewhere by the entry door, from what I remember.
Okay,
That
I'm
sounds
just going to
good.
put non-applicable because I don't want to do non-compliance. I'll do non-applicable because we don't have a drawing for it. Right.
Yeah, they have it. I don't.
Okay, to summarize, there was nothing that we were out of compliance on, correct?
Mm-mm.
Nothing out of compliance, correct?
Okay, so then that means everything is either in compliance or we had some minor note on, I think, 1 point, right?
Yeah. Now, before we that's right, that's the summary. And I will ask the question about could they define really, does gable, shed, or hip designs have eaves in the opinion of the PDS, because we don't really see that read into the document. So, we'll ask the question and we'll see what they say about that. Okay, I mean, I'd like to see them there. If it blows out the budget, I don't think it's a good thing. So, especially if it's been five bids, Dan said, my God.
3.
3? That's
They've
bad.
been on like 5 years, so
5 years. Oh yeah, 5 years, 3 bids.
approximately.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Okay, so what else about this? I need the permit application, which I'm not sure is on the drawing. Is it on the drawing?
The number is, you want the number of that? I've got it here.
Yeah, go ahead and read it to me.
Yeah, okay, wait a second. Let me just go find it again. Documents, PRCAC, permit applications. Water District 2020-00032.
3032.
Yep.
That's it? Okay. All right, only 32 this year, I wonder? Is that what this is? How they do that?
Could be.
Okay, let me make sure I got everything else in here. Okay, so official people here is Stephen, Steve Wolf, and Rick Halsey,
Peter,
and Pam, with
Mm-hmm.
with Dan attending from the Water District, and then guests, which is Bennett.
I doubt you need to mention that we have guests of Bennett and Ray. That doesn't seem like it's very relevant.
Guests. Well, I'm just writing down who was in this
Okay.
on the guest. That's all. It says guest and Ray. Okay. So I don't have to put that on if you don't want to. I guess it doesn't matter. But okay. Well, did the guests have any questions before we close? Right. It is a meeting. It's not a public meeting. It's not it's a public meeting, but it is not a meeting for.
I was just interested to see what Dan was going to have built over there. So,
Okay.
Thanks,
It's hard
Matt.
to tell from what you saw on the screen.
Anything, Ray?
no, I have a good idea. I have a good idea of what it looks like.
Okay. It's a big barn
Yep.
with parking and some trees.
Okay, Steve, hold on. Hey, Ray, any comments from you, Ray?
No, the reason I'm sitting in primarily is that I'm working on a project that's going to result in a building permit application that will be reviewed by you good folks.
Okay, very
And
good.
I just wanted a little preview as to what what the process is
Very good.
like.
Okay, thanks.
And, it actually,
I think we
it's
have a
been
comp-
informative.
Thanks, Ray. I think we've accomplished our goal then for this special meeting.
yep.
I think so.
Sounds like Ray's got a good 5 years worth of work in front of him.
Egad.
And 3 more bids, right? Or 2 more bids. You already got 1 bid, right? Ray, why don't you tell us, let's say the meeting's over, what are you talking about building?
Wait.
In 2 sentences.
The problem is, if the meeting's over, I'm gonna turn off my computer and walk away. So
Okay,
Well,
2 sentences, Ray.
My project will come up when the time is right, but
Okay. 2 sentences.
thank you for inviting the public.
that sounds good. Thanks, Dan, for being part of this.
Thanks.
Okay, so I think we'll adjourn.
Bye, everyone.
I,
Oh,
Bye.
yeah. I second whatever motion to adjourn there. Okay.
Thanks, Rick.
All right.
Thank you.
Good night, all.
Good
Good
night.
night.